let me start with the first one. Okay, SAP Ariba Introduction. So as I mentioned, right, so if we talk about SAP Ariba, the basic of SAP Ariba, if I say, right, so Ariba was initially a separate organization. SAP acquired it somewhere in the 2012. Okay, and then onwards, SAP is selling like SAP Ariba to all the customers. Okay, this will be the our agenda of this one, right? Introduction, architecture, Ariba key benefits. So these are the things we will be covering up in our today's agenda. Okay. So here, if I go for this, so as a introduction, so these things are there in this one. Like I just give you a brief about this Ariba, right? It's a cloud-based tool. So when we say the cloud-based, so like everything you are listening nowadays, right? It's an everything on online, cloud-based, all these things, right? So the basically the objective of cloud-based or what is the benefits of the cloud-based is that you can access the platform, either it's an Ariba or any other cloud platform, that you do not generally require any physical requirement for that. Like if you use an ERP system, you need to have some servers installed in your premises. The same thing is not required when you are working on any cloud tool. Like you just need a simple URL, like you open your Gmail like that way, and you can access it on any laptop anywhere in the world. And the same data get it there. The basic ideology is this one, that the data centers, the data where the data is getting fetched, right? Everything is being stored and maintained and monitored by the host like the SAP Ariba itself. So SAP Ariba has multiple data centers across the world. Like if I give you an example for India region, I think there's a data center in Mumbai. And for Asia region, they have a data center in Singapore also. Same way, some data centers are located in Europe. So these are some data centers which are providing us this data. So whatever we are putting up the data on the Ariba platform and all, so this data goes into these servers. So these guys maintain that servers health and everything. So this is how this cloud platform works. So everything will be on those servers. You access it anywhere in the world. It will help you out to fetch the data easily. Okay. So this is more on this perspective. If you say like it improves all vendor management system and all, so Ariba, so basic of supply chain, whenever you are want to buy something, you need one side is a one, like you need a supplier and a buyer. Very basic, very simple. When you want to buy something, someone needs to provide, right? So buyer and supplier relationship. So that is the main objective, that the vendors, all the vendors which will be associated on this Ariba will be easy to access, and it will be low cost for them also. Even the basic access of Ariba platform from supplier perspective is free for the suppliers. So this is a little bit, you can say a little advantage for the supplier perspective, that they do not need to pay something upfront for having a basic access of SAP Ariba from a supplier perspective. Okay. Then you can see this SAP Ariba is a digital transformation tool. So digital transformation, like generally nowadays, as you know, right, people are looking for something to be automated, digital transformation. You can easily access the data. Okay. So from that perspective, this tool helps you a lot. A lot of things happens in the real time. Like if you are, for example, if I give you a little example of if you are performing an RFP, request for proposal, okay, you are asking supplier some quotation, supplier provides you that quotation. So this data flow will be on a real-time basis. If you take an example in an orthodox method, generally what we do is, as a supply chain process, we generally draft an email or we send it through some different communication channels, and we send it this information to the supplier that we need a quotation, and supplier revert on it. Okay. And it might take some time. When he send it, it will be hard copy, or it will be coming in email or something like that, right? But in Ariba, this data is getting immediately updated in the format that you require. So we'll be covering those things in here. I will be showing you in very detail that thing. Okay. So this is like benefit of it, that the data flows real time, and it's easy to collect the data from the supplier, and which is a very specific what you require. Okay. So this is the another features, like it's a B2B solution, business to business. Like you are a business partner in SAP Ariba, so business to business B2B solution, and it's the world's largest. So as you already know, like SAP is already, and it's a market leader. Like most of the companies are using the SAP systems, either it's a ECC systems or HANA and all different systems, right? So from that perspective, it's a little bit, you can say a good, you can say the trust is there that SAP is performing something and something up to the mark. So that is why the B2B solution is more, SAP Ariba is more preferred in the market. Connect with the right suppliers. visibility. Vendors can get the information easily on this one. Okay. Then we have an Ariba network. So Ariba network is basically, you can say, like everything on kind of on Ariba network. It's like, if I give you an example, like if you are having a mobile, you are calling someone. So you are calling with either it's Airtel network or Idea network, Vodafone, right? That way. So same way, Ariba network is kind of that thing, that they are managing this network on its own, and every documentation flow and everything happens via Ariba network. Okay, so I will be showing you that also, like how these things works in there. Okay, now SAP Ariba network removes all complexity. So if you see, right, once I will be showing you the tool here, you will see that it's like little easy to understand, because a lot of things has been configured on the user interface perspective. Okay, like easy to user to understand the dashboards, the process, the things how to do and all. So just a click and all, and a lot of things are self-explanatory on the dashboard itself. So they have designed in a manner it's little easy to understand of that. Okay. So like you can see this, like you can, if required, you can integrate it with the other systems also. So SAP Ariba supports that integration with HANA. So obviously like ECC, all these systems are quite easy to integrate. So when it comes from the integration perspective, but you can also integrate this system with other systems also, like other ERP system apart from the SAP via the middleware system. So we integrate here the master and the transitional data. So I will be showing you what is the master data, what is the transitional data. All those things will be shown into the system in here. Now coming in here, so these are some basic, you can see, under architecture of Ariba network: contract management, buy, sell, and all requests and everything. So it follows from the buyer to supplier, and it is like it's a bi-directional also. So supplier, sometimes if they respond, so the data flows bi-directional, like both the sides. So buyer to supplier and supplier to buyer also. Okay. So these are the things from the Ariba network. So these are some basic key, you can say, like key figures. Like these many companies are using this one. Every minute transactions happening in here. Annual commerce business, they are doing it here. So these are some, like you can see, the figures which has been used across worldwide by SAP Ariba. Okay. So Ariba network. So again, like digital marketplace where the buyer supplier collaboration happens on this one. Okay. So these are some basic from the same network. So like these are the basic information that you can go through if you want. Any doubts in there, so you can always let me know. Okay. So basically we are trying to avoid any already the places are there, like if there's any differentiation in process. So for example, if you see nowadays in companies when you are doing in a supply chain, so some people who are doing the contract management is not aware of the sourcing cycle, or you can say that some people who are doing the procurement cycle, they are not aware of doing the sourcing cycle. So it's a little, you can say, like the lot is there in between, right? So Ariba is a suite integrated application also. So it provides a feature that is a suite integrated, where you can have the complete cycle and you can see all these informations at a one place. If you give an access, if you give an authorization to a person, he will be able to access the complete architecture. Okay. So these are the things from that perspective. So navigation, your dashboard. So I will be showing you that how you can navigate your dashboard and all. Okay. So this is how you have it. So let's take let me take you on a, what can say, like I will take you to the Ariba platform. So here you have this one. This is your Ariba platform. Okay. So if I say, first of all, anywhere in the world, if you go, more or less, you will see this information as it is. Yes, there is a customization you can do a little bit for each, like every user can do a little bit customization on this, like home, procurement, and you have other modules in here. So these modules you will see. Okay. But overall, if I say it, majorly the architecture looks like this way. Okay. So have your user, whatever the user you are, it will be shown in here. Create, manage recent tabs in here, same in here. So let me, okay, before this explain, let me give you a more overview from the Ariba perspective from this side. Let me tell you one thing. You'll get a basic idea on this one. Okay, here. Okay, SAP Ariba. Okay, let's take it. So when we talk about SAP Ariba, so as I showed you the course content, right? You have seen almost the 10 modules are in there, right? So Ariba has bifurcated these modules. Okay, these modules in the two streams. One is known as upstream. Let me do it. Okay. One is upstream and another is downstream. So this is first part. The Ariba is bifurcated into the two modules, upstream and downstream. So what is the logic of it? So if I say the major difference between the upstream and the downstream is the transactional document. We do not process any transactional document under the upstream modules. Okay, so this is you can say like a basic major differentiation between the upstream and the downstream. Let me put something in here first. So first you have you can say like under upstream you have multiple modules. Let me start with like mention this sourcing. Sorry, let me here put it. Okay, so sourcing, I'll just put it here. I'll just put here this one. Okay, sourcing. Under sourcing. So under sourcing, okay, after sourcing, if I say here, if I put it here second, after sourcing, you can have the contract management. Okay. After this, you can have the SLP, that is supplier lifecycle performance. Okay, we also call it in the small is SLP. So these are modules basically: sourcing module, contract management module, SLP module. Okay. Now, once we talk about, okay, these are the upstream modules, let me put some downstream modules also. When we talk about downstream, so you will be having like here procure to order, procure to order. You must be heard of like P2O, like generally people refer with this small short form. Then you have it, to okay. So in this one, let me just put it in the line manner. So, okay. So for the second, you can say like invoice management. Invoice management. Okay. Then after that, we also have one more, that is procure to order. Also, I'm covering up the catalog management in a brief, but I'm putting here in the downstream. Generally, it comes into the upstream side, but I'm putting from the perspective that we will be using the catalogs for creating the PRPs, the catalog PR, non-catalog PR from that perspective. So that's why I'm putting it in here. Okay, catalog management.
I think the third one would be P2P, BNI.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I missed this one. Okay, procure to pay. So procure to pay. So we call it P2P. Yes, we also call it this B&I. So like multiple names are there, buying and invoicing, B&I. Okay. So this is how we use this. These are the multiple modules. And when we say, right, Ariba, so from Ariba perspective, you see in this one, right? First of all, Ariba do not, they have given kind of a flexibility that you can use these modules individually also. It's not mandatory. Like generally people have the confusion, like, do we need to buy all these modules and all? And if you find in the market, like most of the people who are working on SAP Ariba, generally very few people get an option or opportunity to work on all the modules. So they are generally either working on sourcing or on contract or on invoice or on P2P. But very few people get an opportunity to work on all the modules. Okay. So yes, if you get an opportunity to work on the modules, that is a good part, because that gives you a more confidence and you can understand the complete cycle, or a lot of more information you can have in your hand. Okay. And as I said, right, Ariba provides a flexibility to choose the module based on your requirement. So take an example. You are facing some issues related to your invoice management. Right, manually invoices are coming from the supplier, having a lot of issues in that one. You need to manually check all the invoices and something like that, right? If you having a pain area from the invoice side, you can go for invoice management only. No need for other module. Okay. Similar way, if a company says we are getting some issues related to the negotiation, right? The negotiation is not happening up to the mark. We are not getting so much like negotiated rates. Even the people are some other companies are getting better rates. So your team is might be having some drawbacks or like having some hesitation on the negotiation part. Okay. So from that perspective, if you're looking for, you can go for the sourcing. Okay. So this way, wherever you have some requirement, based on that, the company choose the modules they want. If you are looking for just for a process improvement perspective or a digital transformation prospect, then you can go for a complete, like, for example, you are looking for your procure to pay to be like the more digitalized, right? No manual intervention is required, and that one and the process should flow in a correct manner. Okay. So then you can go for procure to pay complete one. Now, here you can see this procure to order is also there, right? So this will also, I will show you, because what happens is procure to order, people sometimes use it where they just want to create the PRPU in Ariba, and the next of the activities like GR and invoicing and all, invoice reconciliation and all, needs to be performed at the ERP side. Any ERP, not necessarily that should be an SAP ERP, any ERP. So there's a functionality that you can push that order from the Ariba to the ERP side, and you can get a copy there in the ERP, and then you can process other activities in there. Okay. So these are the things are there in this one. And if I say, like, I'll just put in here, like, let's discuss one module by one. So what we are going to cover from an overall perspective, like obviously content is there. I'm just still giving you a brief about that one. So for example, if you see this sourcing. So in sourcing, you will see this, what we are going to cover is the RFI, which is request for information. Okay. So here I'm going to, okay. Then we have request for proposal. Sorry, it's going there. RFP, that is request for proposal. Or sometimes people call it RFQ also, like RFP or a request for proposal or request for quotation. Okay, sorry, I'll just put Q here. So proposal, or you can say quotation. Okay, then we will be covering here the auctions. So auctions generally, like if you refer it here, there are two types of like reverse, majorly reverse and forward. Okay, so these two type of auctions you will be seeing here, reverse and forward. We will be covering up this both, and reverse have like multiple other parameters are in there. I will be covering up all these things. Then we will be also covering here the templates. Okay, so templates, when we say the templates, right? So if you say this, like from the upstream perspective, template is, you can say it's a backbone. Okay, the template is more of a backbone, right? If you know the template part, so you can say, like, from an implementation perspective, so it will be a very important part. Okay, so okay, I also want to add one more thing. The training that we are going to cover, right, it will be in the two perspective. One is as an end user, like how you navigate the system, how you create, like if someone asks you simply create a project, sourcing project, requisition in Ariba and all, so how are you going to do that? That is an end user perspective, right? Also, if you are going to work on the implementation side of SAP Ariba, for example, your company has bought a completely new Ariba system, okay, and they want you to configure it for themselves. So in that perspective, that is like implementation part. So in implementation side, you need to configure these parts, like the templates. You need to design the template. You need to set up the approval flow for them. You need to set up the configuration of the data, right? All those things you need to perform as a implementation part. So the training will be covered from the two aspects. One is from the end user perspective, where you will know how to run this tool, how to perform the activities in the tool, and how you, and the other one is the implementation side. That if a configuration needs to be done in the Ariba system, how are you going to do that? Okay, so that's from that perspective, these templates are implementation perspective. Templates are the very important part. Okay, now after templates, we will also be covering up here the approval flow. How to set up an approval flow. Okay, like the serial approval flow, parallel approval flow, custom approval flow, how to set up the lookup tables and all, everything will be covered in this one. Okay, so these are the things which is very important from the like these majorly, if you see these two things are very important from the implementation perspective. And these are the major, as I said, right? So this is like, you can say, from the implementation perspective, this cover almost 70 to 80% of your you can say like the knowledge. If you are good on creating templates, managing the approval flow, so you are quite good in that. Okay, so we'll be covering up these things in very detail. Same way. Okay, so we have the contract management here. So similar way, if you see this, we can have in the contract management perspective. So contract management is little, you can say, have a little mix of upstream and downstream. If I say right, first under the contract management, or let me, what I do is I'll just copy this slide and just paste it here. Okay, so in this one, let me just remove this one. So here I'll just put contract management. Okay, so when we say contract management perspective, right? So in the contract management, sorry. Let me put it here, contract management. So first is like contract workspace. Okay, one side you will find the contract workspace. Another side you will find one more thing is that is contract terms, or sometimes people call it contract compliance. Like both things, like multiple things is being called in this one. Okay, so these things you will be find out. So this part is majorly from the downstream perspective, whereas this part is from the upstream perspective. Okay, so I will be explaining when we start the contract, and then I'll explain it. It will be easy for you to understand also. So I just want to show like these are the two aspects of it. So contract management is kind of little mix of upstream and downstream. Okay, so that way I will be covering up in here. So I'll just take a brief about this one. So what generally we cover in the contract workspace and all. So we cover the master agreement in here. Master agreement, if I say here, master agreement, master, then sub agreement, how to create a sub agreement, then how to create a standalone. Okay, so these are some basic of it that we will be covering up. We'll be covering up other parts of clauses and this negotiation strategies, how you negotiate with the supplier. So those things will be covered in this one also. Okay, so this is how we will be covering up in here. Then we come the SLP side. So if we come on the SLP side, let me put it here, like just continuing this one, I'll remove this. I'll just take this one. Then we come on the SLP. Okay, in the SLP, what we generally cover is the supplier request. So why SLP? So first of all, what is the logic of using the SLP? Why we need SLP? Supplier lifecycle and performance, right? So supplier lifecycle is basically used majorly for the clients who are looking from the major data to be taken care from the supplier. Like basically they want to have the all the information about the supplier. Generally, SLP being used by the people who are, you can say, dealing in the industries like aviation, defense, research, so that they have all the information like the certifications, like the supplier is following all the procedure, you have all the documents, whatever the documents you require, you need to gather all those informations from the supplier. So from that perspective, generally you go for SLP. Okay, if you are not a very complicated structured or doing into very sensitive production of something, right, you generally do not go for SLP. So this is based on the client to client requirement. But yes, if it is required something more on that perspective, you can go for an SLP. Okay. So SLP is nothing but it's basically to onboard a supplier. Basically like the process of onboarding the supplier on your Ariba platform in a like detailed manner. So the first part of that one is supplier request. Then you have supplier request. Okay. Once you have the supplier request, that's an internal process. I'll be explaining this one in detail also. Then you have the supplier registration. Okay. After that, if you want, so these are the two main processes, request and registration. These are the main process of onboarding any supplier. After that, you have the qualification and all. So that is also a process we'll be covering up. But these are the two basic main process of supplier onboarding. Okay, supplier request and registration. So I think I will be showing everything on the system. I'm just giving you an overview here of all these things what we generally cover. Okay, so these things we generally cover in the SLP side. Okay, so let me just put it here in this one. I'll just write here so that it will look at one place. Supplier request and supplier registration. Okay, so here I'll just remove the numbering here. Okay, so these are the things which cover under the SLP side. Similar way, so these are the upstream modules. So you can see this here, we are not dealing with any PR to PO. So this is very, like, as I said, right? So when we say transactional documents, right? When we say transactional documents, we do not cater anything on the under the upstream. So transactional documents are nothing but your purchase order, your invoice, your receipt. These are nothing but your transactional documents, right? So these things we generally do not process anything of that in here in the upstream side. For that, we have downstream to creating that. Or you can say the basic difference is here, why we do sourcing and all those things in here to identify a right supplier who can provide us the right material at right time. In a more on a supply chain perspective, I give you a definition on it. So we do this process to get this one. Okay, to get a right supplier, like we need to choose which supplier can give us the right, which supplier is good, who can provide us the better rates, and who can provide us a better quality or better material on time. This is what we try to achieve from this one. Once we have the supplier there in place, like after this selection, then we go for a process. The documentation part, you can say, releasing the actual purchase requisition or purchase order or giving the invoicing, receipt and all. So this is a more of a process, and this is more of a like you can say like a process of finding out the supplier. Here, this is more of a documentation process. This is more of a finding out the right supplier in the market. Okay, so here we will be like PR to PO. So if I explain like here, so basically what happens is in the PR to PO, what you will be doing is you will be creating a like PR and PO. This is what we are going to do in here. So let me do it here. Okay, so this is what we generally cover into this one, procure to order. We create a PR and we create a, like once it is get approved, we create a purchase order. Whereas when we come to the next one, that is invoice management. So here we generally cater the requirement from the invoicing side, that is invoice and invoice reconciliation. Okay, let me put, okay, this is coming in this, let me format this. Okay. Invoice reconciliation consists of your exceptions. So I will be discussing this one when we discuss the invoice management, like the exceptions. How do you cater the exceptions in the invoice reconciliation process? So that will be also covered. How the exceptions generated, how you can clear them and all. So this part also goes into there. Okay. Now here, when we say this, so this procure to pay is a complete cycle. It's a mix of like it's a mix of this one, like so here we can say like this way. Sorry, PR, you will be creating a PR, then it will get converted into a PO, then you will be performing a GR, goods receipt, then you will be performing the invoices will be coming from the supplier. Okay, then you will be doing an invoice reconciliation. IR, I'll just write invoice reconciliation, IR for invoice reconciliation, and then OK to pay. Let me put it in the format, sorry. So this is your complete procure to pay. The process of procure to pay. You will be creating, so I will be showing you how to create a PR in Ariba system, how the PO getting generated in the Ariba system, how you can perform a GR, goods receipt. Generally, like receipt we refer in the Ariba. GR is a word that generally we use from the ERP perspective, goods receipt, but the meaning is same. Like then we have the invoice, which generally comes from the supplier, but I will be showing you from that how we can also create on behalf of supplier. We can also create the invoice in our system. And then we have the invoice reconciliation process. So you can simply say it's a two-way, three-way match. The general language, if we say it's supply chain process, the two-way, three-way match will happens at the IR level. And once everything looks good in the invoice, it is okay to pay. Like on a due date, it will get paid to the supplier. Okay. So this is the process of, you can say, the complete process. So here you can see this PR to PO. This is this part, and you can see the invoicing part is coming from here. So it's a mix. So this is the complete cycle of procure to pay, and buying an invoice. Okay. Then we have some catalog management perspective. So catalogs, like what is a non-catalog item, what is a punch-out catalog item, what is a CIF file, how you load it, how you want to see the validation rules in there. So all those things will be covered in there. What is the lead time of a catalog and all. So those perspective I will be also covering from the catalog perspective. So these are the things from the like upstream perspective and the downstream perspective. This is some navigation on dashboards and all. So I think, so these things I'll show you from the system perspective, but yeah, let's just take a quick brief in here. So this is like how you have some things in here, where you can have the dashboard in here and you can create these things from here. 1, 2, 3, everything is mentioned in here. This is the navigation dashboard whenever you see work on. So these are the points you can see, like this is the search bar. This is your recent tab, manage tab. So to-do list and all. So this is a dashboard. Every user can customize on its own, right? By default, you can even set up some customers on a, like when we are setting up the dashboard templates, right? You can use this dashboard template to set up for a bigger level of bigger crowd, like bigger people. Like you will be setting up that one template, publishing that template of dashboard, and every customer, every end user in your company will be able to see the similar. But later on, they always have an option to change it a little bit as per their requirement. So I will be showing you that one also. It's just a brief in here, mentioned in here, right? So you can have the options to edit tiles. Tile setting options are available and all those things. Remove tile options are there. Manage, you can all tiles. So from a system perspective, you can say like Ariba allows maximum 5 tiles on a dashboard. Okay, so this, like people ask you question like how many tiles you can set up on a dashboard. So there's a limitation that maximum 5 tiles. Okay, so here you can see this, some of the like to-do content is there that contains almost like up to 50 approval requests, like you can see in the to-do list. So to-do is basically that what you need to work on, right? So there are 2 things. One is my task and another is to-do. So my task is more referred from the upstream perspective related activities, and to-do is more from the downstream related activities. Then you have recently viewed. So you can see this content displays the 5 most recently accessible. You have recently opened your contract, your sourcing project, your RFI, RFPs, anything. It will show from the recent views items from there. So it's easy to navigate. So these are some, like basically Ariba has provided these options from the access perspective, like easy access to the end users. Then you have the common actions in here. So what are the common actions you usually do, like creating the PR, creating the PO, sourcing project, sourcing request and all. So from that perspective, these things will be covered. Okay. Then, so you have the self-service requisitions, procure to pay. You can create the requisitions in here. You can have some automation also in there. If your approval flow is not there, the PO will get generated automatically. But if you're setting up some approval flow in there, then it will be wait for the approval to be processed. So these things will be covered when I will be showing you there. So you will be understand like how these things in there. You have some automation related things like auto GR you can do. So for example, from the PR to PO perspective, as soon as you create your PR, you submit it and you have an approval. So after approval, automatically the PO will generate. The PO will send to the supplier. And if you set up a GR on an auto GR basis, the GR will automatically happen on a particular date. Basically, that's a lead date, lead time. Generally, we set up on that basis. So automatically a GR will happen. Supplier will submit the invoice. And if there's no issue in this invoice and it get a complete match with the PO and the receiving quantity, then it will automatically goes into the paying status. So you understand, like only the part as an end user, you need to submit the PR. Rest, all the process will happen automatically in a minute. So these are some, like based on the requirement of the client, how they want. So major part, if you see from the Ariba perspective, right, you will be in a constant touch with your client. You need to get the information. So whenever we discuss, even though if you see this, when we discuss with the client, so there's an activate methodology, prepare, explore, and all those phases are there in that, right? So the basic idea from your perspective is to first gather the information, how the customer want, what the customer want. From that perspective, you need to configure the system as per their requirement. And as it's a SaaS based application, it's a cloud platform, right? So there are some limitations. It's not that like generally in ERPs and also you have the access to change all these coding and all, you can do something, right? Same way, but in Ariba, it's a limitation. You cannot change anything abruptly. You need to some of the places you have the restriction where you need to reach out to SAP Ariba, and SAP Ariba will suggest you how to perform this one, or it can be performed or not, because it's a cloud tool. That is a limitation of it here. So I will be showing you where the limitation comes into the picture and where you can have a little bit free hand to perform or to do something to the system. So I will be covering up those things also in the system. Okay. Now let's go to the system. So first is Ariba introduction data. So let's discuss on the Ariba dashboard. Okay, what is the Ariba, this one and all. So how the dashboard works and how you can access it. So very first thing, you can see this is a URL. Whenever there's a URL will be given, you will be like entering and logging into this one. And from there, you will be coming on. This is the welcome page. You can see the home page of SAP Ariba. Okay. Generally, you can set up these tabs on your own also, but you can see this like majorly the modules that you buy, you will get the access of those. So basic setup is always there in the Ariba. So here you can see this like a lot of things are there because it's a demo system. Okay. But here you can see contract, procurement, invoicing, catalog, product, and procurement, supplier management, everything in here. So this is how you will be seeing. Like if you click on the procurement tab, it will show you more information from the procurement perspective, to-dos and all these things, right? Now, as I said, right, you can configure these things, right? So here, if you see this action, I'll just click on this edit option. So you can see this current tab, you can configure these tabs in here. Okay, you can configure all these tabs in here and you can add something here. But the basic, what you are seeing in here, it comes from the dashboard management. Dashboard templates. Okay, so there are dashboard templates under the core admin and admin. So when we'll discuss the core admin, then I will be showing you that one. So here I'll just quickly show you that. So here is the dashboard manager. So this is like core admin. So we will be moving core admin part like continuously because a lot of things are being managed from here. Okay, so sorry, I'll open this one. Dashboard manager here. Here, dashboard templates. I will be showing you once we'll discuss the core admin part. So these things are controlled from here, the basic of it, right? Then you can see these things you can remove and add in here, and you can have the tiles in here. So I think edit properties, revert tab. Let me see this. I'm just resetting my page in here.
So these templates are the different ones other than the sourcing templates that you mentioned?
Yes. These are different. Okay, let me show you that. Let me just a second. Let it load it properly. I'll show you this.
This is just for displaying in the front end to the end user and adjusting. And sourcing template is something different.
Yes. Sourcing table template is different, and this one is different. Just a second, guys. Just loading here. Okay, so if I go into the core admin, let me show you the templates, how it works. If I go to the dashboard templates in here. Now, so currently, let me see this, like maybe I'll just configure this one. So here you can see the ranking also works in this one. So rank 1 means like that is having more value in here. Okay, name, you can name this one. You can create a new template as per your own also. Creator, who is the group, like you can assign a particular group to this also, like this particular group will be able to use it, and for this group it will be reflected like this way. Okay, and here you get the option to configure and delete. So first understand the very basic in here. Ariba functionalities like access, everything works on the whatever the roles has been assigned to you. So if you go in any company and all, if you are working on any Ariba module, right? If you're not seeing something here, right, that means you are missing some access. That is the 90% cases. Unless and until there is some issue with the system, you will be definitely having the less access. Same here, if you see here, like this options I'm getting, right? These options are coming for me because I have the access. If you do not have access, you will not be able to see this, most of the things. So this is how you control like who can do what. I am getting this option to change these dashboard templates. So you can understand it. This is something little critical because end users are not that, you can say like very experienced on the Ariba platform. If you change something for their layout, they will say, so like everything is not working for us. What has happened and all, right? So generally from that perspective, you do not provide access to the people who are not actually related to that one, or they should be authorized to do that. So try to avoid. That is very important, and you will find it like when we work on these projects. So a limited access will be given to each and every person. Otherwise, if you give a full access to everyone, they might do something blunder. Like if you change something, you delete all templates and everything will be gone. You need to set up it again. Same happens for the templates, approval flows and all. If someone makes some big mistake in here, then it will impact. Because in Ariba, when you are testing something or you are working on something, right? When you buy Ariba, Ariba provides generally two realms. We call them realms. If I just write it here, so let me just put it here in this. Okay, I'll just put it here in this one. So Ariba basically provides two realms. We call them realms. One is production, and another is test. This is generally, okay? So like ERP system, where you have this development queue and all those departments, right? Then you can work on it, and you can move your changes from your quality to the development, and development or cycle development to quality, and then you can move them to the production, right? You move the transports in there. It is not like that way in Ariba. If you are doing some testing in Ariba, in test in Ariba, you need to do and configure the same thing again in the production. Okay, so it's like more on a, you will be doing a work on a live system. So anything happens in that scenario, it impacts a lot, right? So for example, you are loading some data, account assignments, company codes or GL accounts and all. And if you had done something wrong in there, you have loaded wrong file or you deleted some data from there, then your whole system will be down. Like everyone will be facing error. Okay. So this is something very critical when you are working on the Ariba side. Okay, you cannot move something you tested in something, like you checked something in PR and all, that you want to move it to the production. You need to do it again in the production system. So therefore, the access will be given to a limited people. Not everyone will be allowed to do a lot of things. So this is where you get an opportunity. Like you need to think over it, like how you want to give the access and all. So this is also like you suggesting. See, when you go as an implementation partner, you are the better person to guide the customer even. Customer never know what is Ariba. They just bought it, right? So as an implementation partner, you need to guide them how to do these things and how you want to perform. Like I've seen it, right? Whenever you go for this workshop sessions, so client brings up all their end users and everyone, right? So that is not a good approach. It should be like train the trainer should be there. You need to have some key people from the business side. You need to guide them. You need to make them understand like how this system works and let them communicate the same thing to the end user level. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen is everyone is coming in there. Everyone is trying to do something here, then it will be a mess. Okay. So now here you can see this is the template is there. If I just click on the configure in here, So you can see this. Now this is the dashboard, and you can see this return to administrator page, new template, editing option is coming in here. You can see this marks are coming in here, right? And these are the tiles. These are known as tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So these are the 4 tiles that you can see in here, right? We can manage these tiles. Okay. In a dashboard. So simply click on this one, and you can see this edit tile settings, remove tile, manage all tile, and remove all tile. Okay, anyone, like you can click on any one of these tile, you can do this one, remove tile, manage tile, and all. So you can click in here, you can see this, and you can click on it anywhere. So this is standard. So as I said, right, so generally this feature also comes to the users if they want to. Like you can see this like a little wrench type of icon is coming is for the settings, configure tabs, so you can do this. Okay, now let me show you. So for example, I just remove this tile. Okay, remove tile. So I remove this one. Let it process this. Okay, so now again I'll just remove this one. Remove tile. Now 3 tiles in here, right? Okay, now I'll try to remove one more. Let me make it remove tile. Okay, now 2 tiles here. Okay, now let me go back. Let me manage all tiles. Okay, this is how you can do this. Simply click on manage all tiles, and this is how it will be coming on this one. So you can see this. These are some available tiles by Ariba. Okay, you can see this. These are the name of the tiles, pinned items, my contact request, and all. So you will see here, like all these things are here. And here you can read maximum 5 tiles per dashboard. So this is a limitation. You can see this. If your customer says, I want more tiles in here, you cannot create it on your own. Okay, you cannot create, like if says your customer says, I want 10 tiles per dashboard. Okay, so that is not possible. So from our side, it's not possible. The next step is anything. So first, you need to provide your input. If the customer still says, no, we do not trust, like we want some confirmation. So the next step is to reach out to SAP Ariba customer support. I'll write it here. So generally, you will find that in the like in any project, SAP Ariba customer support. Sorry, I'll just spell in customer support. Okay, we reach, like generally when you are before go live, and also they assign a project manager from the SAP ERP side. But in case if your project is already went live, then you will be raising a SR, service request. We call it a service request. Nowadays, it's like being referred to as a case. Nowadays, we refer this as a case. This happens via Connect. Ariba Connect. We call it a Ariba Connect. I think I can. So this access will only be given generally when you are getting an Ariba realm. Okay, so here, if I can possibly show you that also. Let me see this. Ariba Connect. Yeah, so this is connect.ariba.com. So this is the portal from where you will be raising the SR. So basically what happens is, these are all process. These are all process from a management perspective, as a project management perspective, or like you will be guiding to the customer also, right? So in this one, this is SAP Ariba Connect. Whenever you are going into for any implementation all, right? Customer will be given DSC rights. DSC rights is mentioned here. Let me put it here. DSC. DSC, that is designated support contact. Sorry. Support contact.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
Okay, DSC, that is the full form for DSC. So what is a DSC? Basically what happens is, whenever you are buying this Ariba module, Ariba provides you a DSC access. We call it a DSC. So you can allocate 3 persons in your company as a DSC. Those people will be having the access to raise the SR case to the Ariba directly. Okay, not everyone can raise an SR. It's a DSC persons who are there who can raise the SR to the SAP Ariba. So Ariba generally provides 3 contacts. I'm not sure like if they have increased that one, but generally the minimum they provide, like maximum they provide 3 people from the any company that you have bought it. So you can give 3 names, that these 3 people will be given a DSC access. Any of the 3 people, anyone can raise an SR, or you can say open a case in case of any query. So for example, take an example of this scenario, right? Where you are having this one, what you can say like 5 tiles. Your customer says, no, we want 10 tiles. Now, you know, like as per your understanding, that is what maximum Ariba provides, but still like customer is not little bit satisfied. They want the answer from Ariba itself, right? So in that scenario, you will be raising an SR to the customer on this one, and you will be mentioning that, can this be possible to increase the maximum tiles per dashboard to 10? And if they say no, then it can't be done. That is very straightforward. Like this is how the project manager works, right? If Ariba is saying that they cannot do this, then it can't be done. You need to either find out some workaround, like any other way and all. But from this perspective, if you want like only exactly this way, then it cannot be done. Okay, so this is how these things works in this way. So you can see this currently, like here you can see my requisitions, my receipt, these 2 tiles are there. You can even remove that also, see, simply. So once you remove it, does not like it goes away. It comes here in this one, right? Let me remove this, my requisition, okay, and my receipts. Okay, and if you see this, my requisitions come in here and my receipts will be somewhere here in this one. Okay, so this way it will come in here, and you click done. So here it is. So it gone. Now edit content or something like here, you can see this, revert to tab, and here compare to default setting, add content and everything. You can see this here. So add content. In this one, you click in here, current tab. So this is a current tab. So on each tab, you can configure whatever you want to see. For each tab, you can configure. So here, current tab, add content in here. So here you can see this. These are the options coming in here. Click and drag the content items. So this dashboard is completely like changeable. You can do that. So here, for example, you have Ariba discovery announcement, all those things, you can do that. So done in here. I think I came out of it, right? Okay, let me go back to the template there. Dashboard templates, I can show you there from there. So which one we were discussing here? This one, I think, right? Configure. I'll just show you this. Okay, so this one. So here we'll go here, manage all tiles in here. Now here nothing is here. I want to add some tiles. Look, for example, event status. Let's select it. It will come in here. I can select maximum 5 tiles, any my 5 tiles. So for example, I go for my invoices, maybe sourcing projects, or my task, or maybe I'll just select my task. So how many? 4. As soon as I will be selecting 5th, all these options will be grayed out. Grayed out means you cannot select them. So let me show you. Like just I'm selecting, I think, expiring contracts. See this, all are got grayed out. Now though no option is coming for me to select because I have completed my 5. If you remove any, it will again select. Options are coming. Okay, so this is how you will be able to perform this, and click done. So once you click done in here, so it's always moving in here. So I just need to go back in there in the template configuration. Configure. So you can see this, all the tiles are coming now here. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Similar way.
So this is dashboard is setting up for your user, right? So I want to set up same dashboard for all the users. How can we do that?
Yes. So here, see this template that you are putting up in here, right? So this will be coming by default for all the users. So that is why we are setting up the template. Individual user can also do this. This is return to admin page. Sorry. Now you can see here, this is what we are doing it for the template level. So what will happen is this rank plays an important role, and here you can assign some group also. The people who belongs to this group and all, they will be seeing the template like this. So you can have multiple dashboards here, templates, and based on the group also, you can see here, edit. Okay, so here this is a customer admin one. I'm going to edit this one. So here you can see this groups. You can choose not multiple, only single. So for example, people are from the asset manager group. So most probably the asset team will be having requirement to see some tiles related from the more on the asset perspective, right? So you can set up a template for that and you can select this one. So what will happen is asset manager team, the people who will be having the asset manager role will be able to see this template. Like by default, this template will be coming on their dashboard. So this way you can choose and assign to a separate, like one people is from the invoicing team. They want to have a different set of template and one team is from there. That way you can define. Okay. So this is the template. Yeah.
So once this is published, so again, users want to do any refresh their dashboards, or will it automatically update their dashboards?
They can do that. So they have the individual access for that one. So they can do that. That is what. So here, okay, let me go back here. If I go here now on my home page. So this is template. If you publish it, that will work. So now you can see this. This is my dashboard. Okay. And here you can see this. I can minimize and I can delete this item. But they can restore it. So restore, revert tab to the default setting. So whatever the default setting will be there, right? Basically what you have set up for the template level, they can again come back on this. Okay. Or if they want to add some more content to this one, so they can do this. So you allow them, so basically if you allow them, so they can do it, but it will not impact the template. Remember, this will be only on an individual level, like only for me. It will not be impacting the other user's template or the main template that you designed. It will not impact that.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So this is part from the
So why this ranking is required there?
Ranking, yeah. So
you said the ranking is very important. Yeah.
So ranking is from the perspective you have a multiple templates, right? So the ranking will be placed whichever the ranking is there on the top, it will be reflected and you will be using that for the for example, if I show here this one, you have the ranking here, core admin, dashboard templates. So you are having multiple templates in here, right? And you are not using, here, none and none. So in this case, if you have published this one and you have published another one, then which will be so? So it will be decided based on the rank. Okay, so this happens that multiple times we are using. So this is generally to avoid this one. So as we recommend, the recommendation is always just keep it a one single template or having the specific template to the groups and all. But sometimes you can say everyone has their own requirement and also they sometimes do this one. So keep a ranking in there, that perspective, to get this to be assigned to a particular in the same scenarios there.
Okay, let's suppose we are deleting the first one. Then there are the second and three options with the group of. So we have to first publish it, or it can direct.
No, we need to first publish it. Without publishing whatever the changes we have done it, right? It will not reflect to the latest version. So basically the version. So if you see the current version is published is 2, and we are still editing the 3. So whatever I have done till now, right? It will not be getting reflected at the end user level because we have not published it. So publishing is always important in this part. Okay.
So currently the one you are using is the first one.
Yes, I'm using the first one because I'm from the customer support admin group. So this is how I will be getting it into this one. Okay. Now,
Okay.
so
Okay.
yeah. Here you have the themes also. So generally like nothing much on the theme side because Ariba generally provide only two themes here. I think one is the blue theme and the light theme. So just the color, how it looks it. So that's the only theme, coloring and a little bit themes is being designed by the Ariba. So I think if you are click on the light theme, it will change to a light here. The color will change in here. So it's nothing much. Yeah. So you can see this. I think it is coming like little light. Let me go in here. Yeah, so you can, this is now it's coming little light color. If you go to the dark theme, it will come little dark. So this is just from the like little bit on the decoration part. If I just go in here, I'll change it to the dark theme, blue theme in here, save it. So now you can see this, it is little dark coming in here. See, grays and all these things are coming. So this is from that perspective. Okay. So this is how you generally like configure your dashboard. You can design your dashboards and all.
So in order to do this designing and publishing, etc., do you have to be logged in as an administrator or you need the admin rights, the roles?
Yeah. So role part, I will be coming later.
Mhm.
But yes, for this one, you have the dashboard manager role and all. So those roles you need to have in your profile. So groups, basically, like when we talk about Ariba, so groups and the roles, like you can generally refer with the groups and all. So from that perspective, you will be assigning those things. Okay. So once you have this access, then only you will be able to do that. If you do not have that access, you will not be able to do this.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the part like here, manage. If I go into the core admin part perspective. So under the user manager, if you see it, so here we have the groups. So I'll like, so these things, like, as I said, like core admin will be coming, going, like this is major from this one. So I will be showing you. So this is a list all, if you can see this, I'll just search it here. So it's a long list. So these are some of the groups are like Ariba managed, system configured groups are there. So these are the groups. Basically, these groups are nothing but rules, or you can say they are rules, what you can do in the system. You need to be part of that group to perform. Like, for example, you want to use Ariba on mobile. So you need to be part of this group. Then only you can use the Ariba mobile app. Otherwise, you will not be able to use it. So this is how it works. So I will be covering up later, because once we'll discuss this part, then I will be coming in the core admin and admin. But I will be later on, I'll be explaining these things. But this is how you need to have the groups, which you have the access, like member of this group can do this. If you are a member of this group, you can do this. So this is how it is there. Okay.
Regarding the tiles, can you go back to the tiles?
Yes, please. Okay, so here, let me go in the admin part, core admin. Dashboard manager, dashboard template. If I go here, configure. Yes, please.
So we can able to show only 5 tiles, right?
Yes.
If they want to customize it, which are not there in that tiles, multiple tiles list. So can we do it, or Ariba only can do it?
No, we cannot do it. We need to reach out to Ariba. So that's so like we need to raise an SR, or we need to open a case with SAP Ariba. And SAP Ariba, first of all, will ask what is the requirement. And they will first give you a go ahead whether it can be done or not. If they say they cannot do it, then that's an end of the road. Okay. But if they say, yes, this can be done, then they generally charge for it. Okay. I will be showing like, so it's like some of the things are free of cost. I will be showing you when we discuss some other parameters are right to changing the parameter name and all those things. They do it for free. Okay. They do not charge it. But if you are looking for something which is customization, which is not there as a standard, so they charge for it. They provide the costing and all those things, and you need to review that. And if you approve it, then they do perform that. And they need some requirement on that one also from your side. So they generally share some standard templates they have to gather the information with us from the customer, from the client. So we need to provide that information, our requirement. This is what we want. And then we give to them and they configure that.
Okay.
Okay. So they charge for that. So generally Ariba charge for, so like it's a paid service. Like most of the things, the customization, basically wherever you are going for any customization, they generally charge for that. Like not just for the template, but I'm telling you, like for future, like in the coming sessions, we will be discussing the sourcing and all, right? So there also, if you are making any changes to this one and you want some additional fields in there, so they charge for that. So I will be discussing that. I'll be showing you that one. Okay. So from that perspective. Okay.
Come across any such case where the tiles have been increased to 7, more than 5 in your
frankly,
experience?
No, frankly speaking, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it. Yeah. Okay. And one yes. Yes, please.
You are changing the tails depends on the group, right? What if you have same user in different groups? So which one will take the priority? So
the rank one. The rank one here. Yes. So for example, like this user is there in asset manager group also, and this user is there in the customer admin group also. Okay. So which rank is one? This one. So this tile will take a preference on it.
Okay. And if user wants to change by individually, so
they can do that. So that access is there, right? So as I showed, right, for individual user, you can do some little changes in there, hide something, delete something. So those possibilities for all the end users are given on the home page, but that will not impact anything at the template layer. Yeah. It will remain available. Yeah. So you can have that option also. Like you see this, right? This one here. If I go here home, you always have this option to like revert to the original template default setting. So here, if you click on this icon here, you can see this revert tab to set to default setting. So whatever your default setting is there, you can always revert it. So if you, for example, by mistakenly, you have deleted this common action button and all these things, right? So you can still go in here and you can revert to default setting and it will come back again.
So default setting means that the tiles will be the taken as the rank one.
Yeah, the whatever the template has been set up in the like template administrator there in this one dashboard manager, the one which is belong to you, like as per the rank and all, it will come here and you can see the same information again.
Okay.
Okay, let me show you this one. Okay, let me show you this manage. If I go to the core admin side, like if you set up your own tab, you can also set up your own tab. Let me show you that one quickly also. So there you can do all these things, right? So currently you can see this, configure this one. Okay, let me show you this. So you can see this here, you have this home visibility and all those things, right? If you click in here, manage, just going in here, add new tab. You can see this add new tab. If I add a new tab, it will be a complete blank. Let me click on this one. So I'm creating a new tab. Okay, so here, new dashboard tab. So, or you can say like tab. Okay, and you can even restrict the type of document displayed on this tab. So display all document types, and if you click on the restrict, you have the option to display and all. So you can like whatever the things. So here, if you see this display as a primary, so this thing you can also set up from here. These are all the options you see, right? When I clicked on that, what you can say like that icon is there, right? So you have these options to add on your dashboard. So for example, Ariba Procure to page there. So in this one, you want to procurement workspace display as a primary, or procurement workspace request as display and primary. So these things you can also set up some things from here also. What type of documents you want to show on your dashboard. Okay, but generally the practice is like display all the document. We do not restrict something, but yes, you have the option. So for example, I put it like test tab. Okay, and I click OK in here. Now here you can see this is the one that I was referring, right? News, common action, recently, action tile, to do. So these are the options that you will be seeing, right? Ariba discovery, sourcing request, summarized view. Also, now you can see this, my page is completely blank. Okay, the new tab. So if you click in here, so this is the test tab. You can see this is a test tab. I'm currently on the test tab. If I go on home, it will show me all this. Same, right? So here it is coming. Now if I go on my tab, the new test tab that I created, it will be a blank. Let me click in here. See this? It's blank. Now from here, you can drag and drop each and everything. So here, you are not able to see it. Once I drag anything, you will see this. There are like lines and sections already there hidden. Okay, let me show you. So for example, I click this to do. And if I see here, I can drag here also. It will come here also. It will come here also. Wherever you want. So here, for example, I drop it here in this section. See here it is coming. To do options. Now, same way, if I go my documents, if I click in here, I want to drop here, my documents, let me do it here. See, it is coming in. Now I want this side. So I go for common actions. I click this and drag, simply drag, and I will put it here in this section. Is it coming here? Okay, I think it's gone this side. So still you can do, I think, where it is gone. Oh, I did miss it. Okay, let me do this. Add content. Okay, I think action tiles, you want to action tiles add in here. Let me click on add. So action tiles will come. See this? Action tiles came. Common actions, I'm again trying to do it here. Let me put it here. I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, it came. Okay, so here it is. And if you want to add recently viewed here under this, below this one, simply drag and drop here. Sorry. Drop here. This is how you're going to create your first time. Like if you want to create it from the scratch, right? So this is how you can create. So now you can see this. This is your new template. So you need to publish it. It will be available for use. This is from a scratch, like if you want to. But generally, like see, by default, Ariba, whenever you are buying Ariba provides some of the basic information, basic setup always there. You just need to like little bit modify that one. But yes, if you want to do it still from the like scratch and all, you want to have like new tab and all, so you can again set it up all these things here. So these are kind of like functionalities, features being there from the Aribas. Okay.
Can you go to the tile page?
Yes, please. You want me to edit this one, like manage tiles?
Yeah, here, say for example, one of the user ID is assigned to two groups. Okay. And how that, rank will work?
No, so you are saying two groups are assigned to a particular user, right?
One user ID is assigned to the two groups.
Okay, so basically, see, if you see here, right? Okay, let me return to the administrator page. Yeah, so here you can see this. This is what you are saying, right? So, for example, UX user is 36 is here, right? And this person has been assigned to asset manager. Okay, and I am the same person which is assigned to another group that is maybe a customer admin group or something. Okay, in that scenario, whichever the template, you can see this, like you can assign only one group to a particular template. So for example, this one, you can see this, I'm not able to add multiple one. I can select any one. I cannot select multiple. I can either see, for example, classified access. I will be having only classified access. I cannot add asset manager and classified access. So in this case, for example, consider this like user 36 is here also, user 36 here also. Okay. In this scenario, you have these two templates, asset manager and this one, right? So if you having this rank 2, then this will come and this will take a precedence over this one because this will have a rank 3. Same user in both this one, right? But this will take a precedence in here because the rank is more on this one. Okay. So this is how it will work at least. Clear? I hope. Is it okay?
Yes, Jay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So this is how you will see your dashboard. So you can see this, these options for creating your requisition, sourcing project, sourcing request, contact workspace, anything you want to create in here. Generally, you will be referring to the create option. Okay. Then you have manage. You need to manage any core admin. You can see like I'm moving multiple times because if you want to manage something, you are basically for managing admin part, core admin part, to-do task, everything you need to go under the manage part. And here your recent document, whatever the recent thing, you can see this, whatever the recent documents we have opened will be referring in here. The same thing, create, manage, recent is given in here. So you can see this common actions, create, manage, and here is the recent. So this is nothing but the same thing which you are seeing here is here, but this is more from the perspective that it's easy. It's easy from the user perspective that they can move here also. Navigation, basically, you can say like user help, like it's a more user-friendly navigation being designed and created by the Ariba. Okay. And this is your standard search bar. This is your standard search. So here, whatever the things you want to search in the system, annual report, catalog, contract, workspace, all those things. So you can choose anything. from here, and then you can put the ID or keywords. And also, for example, if you want to search a sourcing project, so you need to put the title, ID, or any other item. Or if you want to search a purchase order or requisition, so you need to put the title, either the title or either the ID. You can search with anything. Okay, then you click on this blue icon, it will give you the option for that, and you can search it. Something like if you just click it, so it will show you the, like from this perspective filter will come, and you want to search for particular this date created, you search it. So it will come in here. So this is like basic search. You can say like the basic standard search. If you want to search anything from your home page, you will be able to search like this. So you can search anything which is in here. Okay, this standard, like, so this is basic. You can say like the basic standard dashboard, how you navigate, how you work on this one. So creating everything from here, you can create the same thing from here. Recently, you have some document, my to-do task. So you can see like my documents in here, requisitions 3, project 2 and all. And you can see here in this one, my to-do task, receiving this much and all. So approve, you need to approve something here. So all those things you can see from here. It will give you a basic access of the information on your dashboard.
Yeah, one more question. Like,
yes, please.
I just wanted to, log in on behalf of, the other user.
Yes.
So is it possible?
Yes, that is
just to check the, the templates are correctly published or not in that group.
Okay, so yes, first there are two. So the question that you asked, having two, like basically two, you can say like two functionalities. Basically, if I can say, first is if you want to access as a someone else, that is being done in Ariba via delegation. Let me write it this way. Here you can do the delegation. So the person, for example, if person is going on leave, okay, so for 1 week he need to delegate. So we call this a user delegation. So in this one, you will be having two people like delegatee and delegator. So delegator is the person who's going on leave, and delegatee is the person who will be taking care in absence of him or her. Okay. So that is how the So this is known as user delegation. So I will be covering up that one also for this one. And the second part that you said, right? Can you check the template? If that person will be having the authorization and access, then only you can use that. If that person also doesn't have the authorization or access to check the templates and all, then you will not be able to see that part. Okay. So authorization plays a very important role in Ariba. Like only the rules and authorization, if you have, then only you will be see the particular things in the Ariba. Okay. So delegation basically like you will be able to do the things which other person is already doing, like what he's doing in a day-to-day life, like what are the accesses he will be having. So once he is going on leave, he can make you the delegatee, and you will be, when you are logging in there, so system generally asks you that you want to access as your name or the other person who is delegated to you. So you click on that person's name and you will be acting as. So behalf delegator, you will be act as everything what he is able to do it, you will be able to do that. Okay. So delegation usually have it for a particular period of time and all. So everything is there. I will show you that one also. Okay. Now, so I hope like dashboard perspective, everything is fine. So how to see all these things. So here you can see some reports are also will be there. Okay. So that means I will be showing you, like you can put some reports on the dashboard also. Once we will be discussing the reporting part, I will be showing you that one also. Okay. So I think this is all from the introduction perspective of Ariba, and I hope everything is like from the basic side and the introduction is clear, like how we perform all these activities and all. And one more thing I just want to add, like when you will be going it for any implementation projects and all, right? So generally, if you see like mostly the people which follow is the activate methodology. Okay. So Ariba activate methodology. Okay, so basically in this one, what happens is you have the 4 phases: prepare, explore, and all. So in that one, you first do have first you assign the project manager to this one, and then later on you will be having like some requirement gathering sessions in there. Then you have some deploy phase, like after having your go live and all. So the process is like basically the main objective is whatever the current client have as is process. Okay, as is, you need to first do a as is, what is their as is process, and what is going to be like there, if I say like 2B. So you will be understanding their requirement. From the requirement perspective, you will be getting the knowledge from them, like you will be getting their process understanding, and then you will be suggesting them like, yeah, this can be done. So for example, if I say, right, sourcing project, okay, they want that the sourcing projects to be having this much particular RFPs and RFIs in your template, because they are following that one. So like they generally follow the RFP and then the follow-on RFP. So these kind of requirements when it comes, right? So you need to say that the fit gap analysis, you will be doing it. Yes, we can cater this requirement and we can provide this. Like we can configure these things in Ariba. Okay. They will definitely say like, this is what we are following it currently with our legacy system or existing system or orthodox, whatever the method they are using till now. Okay. Or any other system. They will come in with that information. As an implementation partner, that your job is also from the perspective that you suggest something which is a best practice in the market. Okay. So as an implementation partner, you will be suggesting them something like, yes, obviously the end result, or you can say the end, the decision is always with the client. But as a good implementation partner, that we will always suggest something which is better and which is being used by the market leader or industry leaders, and you can get a benefit out of it. Okay. So we generally conduct a workshop. We show them the Ariba, this tool, what are these features in there and all those things in there. And there are some technical team, or like you can say some key users from the client side will be there. They will be putting up some questions to you, like, can this be done in this one or not and all. So these things is, you need to explain. You need to give the confidence to the customer that yes, this can be done in Ariba and this cannot be done in Ariba. So this is very important. Why I'm explaining these things, because these are very important, because later on the stage, these are the major hiccups happens. Like customer says you have committed something, you're not delivering that. Okay. So always it's better to have that clarity, what you are going to configure. As I said, right, Ariba is a SaaS-based application, cloud platform. So you have some limitation. So generally customer is always in a, you can say like in the mindset that whatever we are going, like we are paying for this and whatever we request, it should be done. Okay. But there always are some limitations. You can try the workaround to satisfy the requirement, but still some of the things sometimes get stuck because of that. Okay. Because of the system limitations and all. So those things you need to be having a better understanding at the initial phase, so that you and the customer will be on the same page and they understand, yes, there are some limitations for the cloud-based systems. Okay. So this is how we generally like suggest everyone whenever you go for any implementation projects. Okay. From the way. So first of all, understand, guys, like, see, you all are learning. Even see, if I say like today, even I'm Ariba, like I have almost 14 years of age, but still I'm learning. Okay. So please do not hesitate. Everything is little new. Even Ariba is introducing a lot of new features in Ariba itself on a regular basis. So the learning never stops. Even I'm also learning a lot of things from the still, right? So no need to hesitate. You can give a wrong answer and all. You guys are new on the Ariba platform, so there's nothing need to worry about it. Okay, just be open. Try to answer as much as possible. Try to understand the things. Okay. So first, which of the following option will be digitally transformed by SAP Ariba?
D.
Okay.
D.
Yeah, all of the above. So as you can see, like Ariba has the they have all the modules like procurement, contract management, sourcing, and all. So from that perspective, digital transformation projects can be implemented for all this above. Right. So digital transformation, I hope, so as you know, right, digital transformation is nothing but where you will be putting up some system which is been electronic or doing the things on an automated basis on, right? So that is more on a digital transformation perspective. So as Ariba is from that perspective, as I mentioned, right, if you want to improve your process, you can use that. If you want to have some issues in a particular process, only like, for example, negotiation, or you're having an issue with the contract management, you have issues with only the, you can say, in your PR to PO process. So from all this perspective, you can have the individual module also. So they can have it segregated based on that one. So you can perform in all it. If you are having only the contract management, you can buy the contract management module. You are looking for procurement, you can buy the P2P side. You having something more on a supply chain side, like you want to improve the process, you want to have some more on a sourcing perspective, something like that, then you can do this. So yes, Ariba can support your all the above requirements. Okay. Now, what kind of SAP Ariba is a company?
B2B.
Right. So business to business, we are directly dealing with this one. So B2B. Now here you can see the data that can be integrated from various ERP solutions to Ariba processes.
Both A and B.
Right. Okay. So both A and B, master and the data. So generally in Ariba, when you refer it, so we generally refer to the two data. Like, so for example, if you refer to the master data, so what is the master data? An example is like, you can say like your company codes, your, you can say your cost center, GL, plants, all those things are sometimes like, cost center will not run, but like your company codes, purchasing orgs, GL, these things are coming under the master data. Okay. And traditional data is your like all this, your PR to PO processes, what you are performing in there. So all these things will be there. So these things are like, as you know, right, ERP systems are there and then they are flowing these things. Okay. I think I haven't showed you one thing in here. Wait a second. Quickly, let me show you this one. Yeah. I think, sorry, I missed this one. It was there in this one here. So just let me put it in the slide. So this is an overview. So it's not a very like something you should like pinpoint on this one, but just like overview. So here, if you see this is a basic architecture from a SAP product perspective. It's given by that. Okay, but you can take this one in this manner. So this is, you can see these are our modules: Ariba, sourcing, contract management, and all. So just refer briefly, and this is something more on a, you can say like downstream side, buying and invoicing. Okay, so you can see this is Ariba. This is what we are going to cover. Okay. This Ariba is going to be integrated via this middleware with any ERP. So currently here in the diagram, it's just for the reference, it's showing your SAP products, all your SAP products, right? But this Ariba system is integrated with this ERP system via this middleware. And remember, this middleware could be any. It's not mandatory to go for CIG. It's people generally go for CIG because like like you have both sides your ERP systems as Ariba, like so SAP products. So generally it's better to go for the CIG because SAP CIG provides some basic configurations already from the HANA, like whatever the ERP tools of SAP already are there. So it's easy to integrate also. Okay, but in case if you are going for something, so you can have middleware system, something different also. In market, you can see like iPass is there, Dell Boomi is there, or there are multiple middleware systems are available. It's just that you need to have a little bit more effort on that to integrate the systems. Okay, so these things can be changed. It's not like very hard and fast that you should be always CIG. And same way, this ERP system can be changed. Like you can have your PeopleSoft, Oracle, any other system. Okay. But yes, if it's an SAP tool, then definitely it's easy to integrate because SAP design. So this is very basic that every company who's designing something their own, they will definitely design in a manner that they can integrate with their systems easily. Right. So these are all SAP systems here, the ERP systems here. And these are also Ariba systems, SAP system, and SAP itself designed a CIG. So these things are basic that they will be designing something which is more easy to integrate when their own systems are in place. Okay. So this is how you will be able to see these information. This is how the data basically connects or like your system get connected. Now, here you can see this Ariba network. Yes, please.
I have a question on CIG. In CIG, means we will do only integration part, or do we need to do any mapping fields like that? So if we use the PIP, we need to do the mapping, right? So same way, do we have in CIG as well?
Yes, we have the CIG. Mapping is there in the CIG. Okay. So I will be showing you that. Yeah. Okay. I will be showing you that video. So that's it. So some mappings are by default. So they are like basically custom mapping are there and they are standard mapping. So I will be showing you some brief from that perspective in the CIG when we discuss the CIG. Okay. Now here you can see this. This is your Ariba network. So you can see this suppliers. All the communications happens to the suppliers will be via Ariba network. Okay. So this is what it is like. Ariba network is there in the place, and you are communicating anything from the supplier. So it will be always with via the Ariba network. Okay. So this is what, as I said, right? See, Ariba network plays a very important, right? It's like, as I gave you the example, right? You want to communicate to any other person via mobile, so you need to dial some number, and the call get connected via the network of any particular cellular mobile network, right? Airtel, Idea, like that way. So same way, Ariba network also maintains that, and this is like completely maintained by Ariba itself. They give us a peak, like there's another access of Ariba buyer network, we call that one. So from that, you can get a little peek on it. So there are some things are there, you can change it. But this is how the suppliers, whenever you are sending any document, so there are some information which goes to the supplier via ANIDs and all, they get a unique number. So I will be explaining that when we create this SLP, right? Under the SLP and all, you will be finding out how these things works in it. Okay. So I will be showing you that process. But this is the overall. So why I want to show you, like, this is the overall architecture. Now, brief, if you understand how the Ariba, where the Ariba stands, where the middleware stands, how the ERPs are there, how the suppliers are there. So this is the basic, just to understand that how and where the systems are placed when you are trying to connect with something else. Okay. So this is how it is.
What is Ariba supplier risk?
So supply risk is also another module where you will be having a particular set of questionnaires, and also where you analyze the supplier, that this will be supplier is a very good. For example, if we say, like, to have a good supplier, you need to follow all the rules and regulations. Like, you need to have the certification of fire and safety. You need to follow the OSAs, ISO certificate and all. Based on that, you can set up some ranking and all, and you can set up the score that if the supplier does not have this one, it will be little less. And if the supplier has this one, it will be having a better ranking. So you will be like communicating that. Okay. So that is more on that perspective. So nowadays, like, see, basically, if I say like major part is being covered in the SLP, risk part is used, but not to that extent, if I say. Okay. So this is how it is. So a lot of things are there. If you see the supply chain collaboration is there, that is a separate thing. If you see in the market, there are some other modules also of their Ariba. So if you see, frankly speaking, if you go for all the modules of Ariba and all, right, it will take almost a year to complete some trainings. There are a lot of things which is Ariba introduced. Ariba like trying to introduce new modules itself. Like earlier there was some guide buying, and now they are also including guided sourcing. Okay, so they are enhancing their capability, bringing new modules on a regular basis. But the baseline, if you can say, the basic, you can say, the crux of all these things will be generally covered by this. Okay, yes, definitely they are bringing something new and all, but these are some, like, you can say, the core. If you see in the market, right, 90% of the clients are dealing with these modules. The one that we have decided the course content, based on that 90% of the market, these people, the companies are using these modules. Okay.
So do we have interlink between upstream and downstream, right? So few of the clients will take only downstream and few of them will take upstream. So
right. So basically, when your upstream and downstreams are connected, so we generally, the name and the wording that we use is the suite integrated. So basically, your upstream and downstreams are connected. So yes, if these things are connected, like you can create the contract management, downstream and upstreams are there. So you will get to know, like when I create this one, right? So you will be getting all this information that how we are using the upstream and downstream in the connection. Okay. So that thing will be coming. So yes, these are connected wherever it is. For example, like if I give an example of contract management. So as I said, right, contract management is mix of upstream and downstream. And when I will be showing you that contract management while creating all these things, right? So from the contract workspace, you will be creating a contract terms within that one. So it's kind of linked here, but it's little, you can say not complicated very much, but like, yeah, it's a little complicated. When I show you in the system, you will get to know like how these things are connected and how you can use this.
Okay. Yeah. One more question. You said that there is a dedicated support team from the client, right? So as a consultant from the TCS, do we get that access to us as well?
You are referring to
A service request. To raise the service request, you told that there is a dedicated support.
Yes, DSC, right? You are referring to this DSC, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically what happens is generally when you are working on that any implementation project, so client generally get you the access of DSC also. So they generally what they do, either they give you one access for this one, they get your name also to the Ariba that you guys, they add you as a DSC in their database and you have the credentials for that and you can raise the cases and you can communicate with the supplier also. Sorry, with the Ariba customer support also.
Okay.
Or sometimes basically what happens is like, see, DS, before the go live, even after go live, you have this hypercare. I think Ariba provides 3 weeks hypercare. I'm still like, this is the some old, like 1 year before. I'm not sure if they have increased it, but generally they provide for 3 to 4 weeks of hypercare. In that one, basically like after the go live, if any issues are coming in the system, like you can directly connect with them and they will support you. So this DSC that basically like SR and the case creation comes into the picture after the hypercare is over.
Okay. Actually, our project is support, Jay, actually.
Okay. No problem. So yeah. So in the support, so basically, yes, then you will be having like, you can ask any request for this one. Like we will be having either a DSC or they will give you like, so they will make you a DSC. In that one, you will be able to raise the service request or you can say open. Nowadays it's a case, we refer it. So you can open a case with the SAP Ariba. So customer should actually like initiate this one and they should give you this access. Otherwise, like you need to reach out to the customer, someone representative, and you need to ask them, please raise this, please raise a case or open an SR. These are the information. So when you raise a case, right? So you need to have fill the realm name, what are the issues and all, like recreation methods. Can you replicate the issue? Steps to reproduce. A lot of information you need to fill it up in here. So if they are okay with that one, that is up to them. But if not, so they need to provide you the access so that you can fill it up those information.
Okay.
Yeah, Jay. And what is the response time from SAP on that SRs?
Okay. I will say like it's a good question because if you have not taken the premier service, like there's a premier service for which you need to pay for the support, Ariba support, right? If you are not taking the premier service from the Ariba support, and in that scenario, if you are using the tickets, so P1, P2 having the SLA, like they respond, like for P1, they immediately respond within 2 hours. So P1 generally you raise when, for example, like your entire system is down. You're not able to do anything, right? In that scenario, you can raise a P1 ticket. And in that case, they will even give you a call also, like directly call, you will get a support. And it will be generally in the case where you are not able, so they will ask, either the whole, all the end users are impacted, your whole system is down, something like that. If that is the case, then only you will raise a P1. If you can say like your major disruption happening. So for example, your one module is completely down. Then you can raise a P2 or even P1 also can be raised in that scenario. So P1, P2 are in the case of very critical. Ariba respond that within like a couple of hours and all. They generally do that in the P1, P2 cases.
Like, the client has to take this premium support pack.
Yes, okay. Absolutely. They need to pay for some amount, and like I think this needs to be negotiated with the support, and then they get the premium support. So they reply immediately on that one. Otherwise, for P3 and P4, the 4 categories are there: P1, P2, and P3, P4. For P3 and P4, Ariba do not have any SLA. They will respond as per their own convenience, frankly speaking. Like you need to send multiple reminders to them, and once they get a chance, so they will reply on that. So that is how the P3, P4 works. So generally, if you are like, you can suggest the customer, if you are working on a critical projects and all, something like that. So then it's better to take a premium service. If not, then it will be little like it takes some time, like the Ariba respond to any request on it. Frankly speaking, like this is my experience. I've seen it. Okay. Yeah. So this is how it works.
Is there any standard template for raising this SR? Or you can provide all the information in general in an email?
There is no, like, I think there's a standard. You can say like when you open this, right? Open a case, create a case. So there are 4 or 5 fields that you need to fill it up. Like first is the realm. The second is like production realm. The issue is from the production realm or test realm. and then you need to search something like the description of the item, like the error, description of the error. And then it comes like you will be pulling some, if you can reproduce the steps to reproduce. And then I think in the fourth, it comes as an attachment. Like you need to attach something in there. Any screenshots are there and all. So you can attach and then you can submit it. Like after that, you need to just check something. And so it's easy. Like, so as of now, like, see, as I said, like, see, I do not have DSC access as of now for this one. So if you have it, so that you can show it. Otherwise, if you find, I think, I'm not sure, like,
so this is like a normal SAP support ticket. So, okay. So, but Ariba have a different portal that is connect.ariba.com. So from here we can raise the cases. So if we want to reach out any SAP like normal ECC or FICO, we use normally SAP support, right? The same way for Ariba, we have a Ariba Connect. So like this is the way we have raised the cases. So same information which we supposed to use in the SAP support, same way we can use this.
Mm-hmm.
So they will respond on that. Actually we have one more feature here is in Ariba Connect. If you raise any case, it will send an email. From the email itself also we can respond. It will update directly into the in your ticket. Okay, this is a case. So here we can call it as a case. Earlier it's supposed to be service request. Yes, sir.
Mm.
Now they have changed to the cases.
Yes.
Right, Jay?
yes, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Earlier, it's supposed to be SRs. We call them as a service request earlier. Now we are calling it as in Ariba, it is a cases. If we want to create any case, we can use the create case. And so we need to fill all the details same way like SAP support, what is the issue and everything. But here the thing is we no need to provide any connections because of it is a cloud. So Ariba itself, they have access, they can log in and they can check the issue. So we don't need to provide any connections. We don't want to open any connections. So that's the only differentiation. Other than that, everything is same.
Okay.
Is it fine? Anyone else have any questions or can I stop?
Yeah, thanks. You can stop.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, please go ahead.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Thank you very much. So yeah, so as like shared, right? So this one, so this is how it looks, and this is how you will be able to like raise a ticket or like open a case with the SAP Ariba, right? So this is the like access, right? So once you are working on a customer side, so they will be providing you this access. So they generally need to provide this access. Then only it will like you will be able to. Otherwise, someone from the client side, like you need to provide the information, they will do that. Okay. So I think that's all. So I hope that is clear, right? So now let's back to this one. Some basic questionnaires in here. So third one, I think we have discussed master and the transitional data. Okay. Now let's see here. Okay. So
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. The third question. Why the fourth option is incorrect? The vendor data.
Okay. So vendor data is basically like you are receiving something, like you are not integrating something. So basically integration, when we refer to the integration perspective, right? You are connecting and sending all this information to the supplier also. But basically what we are doing when we are doing the integration, right? We are receiving only. Like the way we receive RFPs, right? So when we are having the vendor data in here, so we are receiving the data from, you are not sending any, for example, you have received the vendor data. You created a vendor in your Ariba system. You created a vendor ID. So that vendor ID will be unique to your company only, right? That's unique ID that you have created in your, like generally we rep, right? So that will not be sent back to the supplier. Right. No, so it will be in ERP ID. You can say ERP ID. So that ID you will not be sending back to the supplier because it's not useful for him, right? They will be having something ANID to communicate anything, and they cannot use that ID apart from you. So we do not transfer the data something to that. We receive it. For example, you need ISO certificate of the supplier. You need some questionnaire you will be asking. So I will be showing like you need to ask some questions to the supplier. Are you a manufacturer? You have this certificate or not? How many customers you have and all. So those kind of information you will be just fetching from the supplier. You are asking from the supplier. You are not sending something to the supplier from that perspective, right? You will be sending only the invitations and all. So if you see that this is, when we say integrated, generally the integration is basically like you are communicating continuously with that. You are moving your data, master data, transitional data. All these things are communicating on a regular basis, which is we are not doing generally with our vendor, right? Whenever we need something, we ask them, they provide that. We generally never send even you see, when I will be showing you this one, we only even share the content part, either it's an RFI, RFP or SLP, anything is there. We only share them the content part of it. They need to respond to that. And the content is also very specific the way we want. So it's a little different from the integration. If you see like integration is, as I mentioned, right? So here itself is like saying master data and transaction. So integration is you are communicating with the customer, or with the other system. That's why it's not integrated. I hope, is it clear?
Yeah, but in these cases, when the supplier details are already there in the S/4HANA ECC and we are implementing a new system called Ariba,
right?
We need the supplier details. So we are not going to register the supplier again. We will just create the ID only if the supplier is not there on the Ariba network. But we fetch all the details of the supplier from the ERP.
Yes. So see, like if you are referring to the integration perspective, so then in that case, your source of truth system becomes a ERP. So you will be fine. So as I said, right, see, SLP, when we are communicating the SLP integration, the data is bidirectional. Okay, so bidirectional in the sense, like in case you are having some supplier related information from the ERP side, so you can push from the ERP to the Ariba side. That is bidirectional. Or in case if you are not having the integrated or you are having a source of truth, your Ariba system, you have first onboarded the supplier on the Ariba platform via SLP. Now, once the supplier is created on the SLP side, now you are going to push that SLP supplier to the ERP side. Okay. So in that scenario, you will be pushing all this data. Yeah.
And if the supplier is an old supplier, so we have to integrate in those cases, we have to integrate this, our Ariba solution to the ERP, and we can data to the ERP. We can fetch the data from the ERP to the Ariba.
Yes. ERP to Ariba, you can fetch it. You can fetch the data from the ERP. You need to run the master data and from the direct connectivity and all. So your data,
that means that the data can be integrated from the ERP to the Ariba. The vendor data also can be integrated from the ERP to the Ariba.
Okay. Wait a second. See this vendor data, which is we are referring here, right? So this is basically when we are fetching something from the third-party vendor directly. This is I think the reference we are talking about here is that is a ERP solution. So if something is there in your ERP, that is, we are not fetching something from vendor. That is already there in our ERP system. So ERP system sending to Ariba, or what is something is already there in Ariba, we are sending to ERP. So there's no vendor in that. Okay. We are talking. So this option is referring to something that which we are directly fetching or sending to ERP vendor. Okay, understand the difference. Okay. So this thing is, you got the point.
I understood it now.
Yeah. So this is okay. See here, the master data vendor is also sometimes so vendor also considered as a master data, right? You also sometimes consider as So in that case, so we are fetching. So we are fetching the data if we are sending something which is already, like for example, you have already 1,000 suppliers in Ariba, in ERP system. Already you have registered like old way, right? Now you want Ariba. Now you want to send this data of the ERP system to the Ariba system, because now we will be creating the PRPU in the Ariba system. So that is not this vendor data transfer. This is our internal ERP to Ariba transfer, right? So that's why this is why these two options are correct. This one is for the external vendor when we are communicating directly to the vendor. So I will be showing so SLP side, I will be communicating that part only, like how you will be onboarding a supplier in Ariba. Okay, so that I will be showing you here in the SLP. Now, here SAP Ariba is a cloud-based innovation solution that allows,
both A and B.
Okay, sorry. Okay, that's fine. So, SAP Ariba is a cloud-based innovation solution that allows Dash to connect and do business on a single platform. So, supplier and buyer, both A and B, right? Correct, absolutely. Okay. So, I think here, SAP Ariba, enhanced saving through complete coverage for all spend and expense types. So, which one?
B.
Direct and indirect.
SAP Ariba enhances.
So, yes. So
all of the above.
Yeah. So basically what happens is like here you can have it all of the above. But in this one, basically like different systems will involve for direct procurement, indirect procurement, services, capital project, contingent labor. So these are like basically involving like others. So for example, if I give you an example, there is related to the bill of materials and all those things comes from the direct material side, right? There is another product sourcing is there is a like you heard of like
right.
Commerce automation and all those things, right? Those things also come into the picture. So Ariba has a lot of solutions from the different customer perspective. It's you need to identify, or the customer needs to identify what they are looking for. Okay, so yes, so you can say like the Ariba has the features and the functionality which works from a different. So people use it in a different manner. If I frankly speaking, people can use the indirect procurement of some of the auction. Like for example, you want to conduct an auction. Generally, from the indirect procurement, what is an indirect procurement? If you give an example of what is an indirect material. In case of indirect, so any example, any example for indirect procurement? Anyone can suggest me something on the indirect procurement example? Any material for the indirect procurement?
Procurement of stationery.
Yeah. Procurement of stationery or something, right? So you will be, for example, let's take or we will say like a coffee vending machine. You want to have like 10th floor of your office. You want to buy a bulk of some 50 coffee vending machine that you will be placing on each floor, right? That's an indirect procurement, right? But so what you will be doing, you can use auction for it. Okay, sourcing auctions where you can negotiate this. But companies sometimes use even some direct material for the auction. Okay, whereas generally we refer always that the indirect procurement will be taken care more on the Ariba platform. From generally the modules that we are covering in this one, majorly focus from the indirect procurement perspective. But as I said, right, everyone, like that the customers are this way. They sometimes try to twist the system or try to use something in a different manner. So they do for the procurement of direct materials also via this process. So it's nothing wrong in it, basically. It's just like it's more better if you use something different. But yes, if you want to do an auction, you can also do on the direct. For example, I give you an example. Like last time, there was some iron ore machinery. Like this was for automobile industry. They make the castings. So every month they need this iron ore for making the castings. So they have done the auction for that. Okay, so this is how the customer work on it. So yes, in this perspective, you can do this one. You can suggest like these things. You can suggest to the customer also. If you want to use this way, you can use this way also. Okay, so sometimes these things are you need to present in front of when you are initially going with this one. Like customer will ask you these kind of questions. Can we take this one this way? We want to have this kind of a negotiation in this one, or we want to have perform this contract in this manner and all. Can you perform this one? So these are the things. Yes, we can do it, and we need to present in front of them. And we can do. Yes, you can still like have a little twisting in this one, and you can use this way also. Like this is nothing illegal or something non-ethical in it. But yeah, it is better to follow the process. But yes, if you want to use it, it can be used. Okay. So we have this enhancement savings. So because auctions is the one of the thing where you can get the immediate savings. I'm telling you, like clients from the Indian market rather than from the foreign market. Foreign market is more looking from the process perspective to improve the process and all those perspective, rather than Indian market customers are more looking from the commercial perspective. So immediate results of savings and immediate results on the realization of the savings and all. So from that perspective, generally we need to suggest some of the times that you can go for auctions. Okay, fair enough. Okay. During which year SAP Ariba was founded? So I'm
96.
96, right? So I'm also not sure, frankly speaking. Like I have maybe I think 70. I was not having sure. Okay, 1996. Okay. So as you know, right, Ariba was initially it was a standalone system. Ariba was another company, separate organization, because SAP is a German, right? Ariba was initially an American organization. So SAP later on procured. Okay. Now, okay, SAP Ariba improves the overall vendor management system of an organization. Okay, so you can say like, yeah, both, and you can say like less costly ways of procurement, making business simple. So these are like having a lot of options and a lot of you can say like the aspects. Different answers can be there for this one because it impacts in a lot of manner. Vendor management and all those things, it impacts in a lot of manner. Okay, now select the option that are included in the previous Ariba acquisitions from the following: B2B network, B process, free market, agile software, TEDx, all of the above. So, okay, so I think this is the, okay, 8th. So I'm, any suggestion on this one? See, frankly speaking, like I'm also, this one I have not seen this questionnaire, so I haven't worked on this, but electronic invoicing and B2B network is there. But free market and procure, I'm not aware of this one also. So any idea of anyone of you?
No.
So I think mostly we can say like this one. I'm not sure, like agile software and all these TEDx is using the same acquisition process. But yes, if it is there, so you can use it. So these are more on a process perspective. Maybe you can find it out. Let me know. Like, as I said, right? See, I'm also learning. I'm not a very, like I can say each and everything because things are changing every day. So if anyone just help me out to understand this one also, like all these softwares also. So this one, I'm sure these things are there, but these things also you can just let me know. Okay. Now let's move to the other one. Choose the SAP Ariba network from the following. Okay. So direct vendor, merchandiser, indirect vendor, merchandise, labor and services. So which one? All of them. We do it for like either it's a direct vendor, indirect vendors, or we are doing material or services, anything. So we are always sending every information. We are connecting everything with the vendor on this one. Okay, vendor or merchandise. So this is all of them. Okay. Then state whether the given statement is true or false.
True.
True. Correct. Okay.
Yes.
True, because yes, we can connect. We can directly connect with the Ariba network with 1 million of suppliers. So yes, we can directly have the business needs and managing the supplier. So yes, we can do that. And this is just one. This is the one part from the Ariba network. Or you can also say like there's another part of Ariba discovery. Okay, so we'll be covering up in our training session also. There's an Ariba discovery where you have the database of the suppliers that can be used in case if you require something and all. So there are a lot of suppliers are registered on that Ariba network, Ariba discovery, and some people are use that one also. Okay, so we'll cover in our training. That part also will be covered in our training. It's there in the content. Okay, so here I think the answer is also given in this one. I didn't see this. Okay, so I think you will be having this one. So this is more from your perspective. So you can practice, you can go through with this one. Okay, overview of SLP right here. Let me start with the topic one. Overview of SLP. So let's discuss this one. Overview of the SLP in here. Coming to the next agenda, introduction of SLP, need of SLP, what is the SLP deliver and all. So those things I will be explaining here. So Ariba SLP provides your ability to self-managing your banking information, company address, details, other relevant information. So all these information you can gather from the supplier via the SLP process. Okay. So all who need to use SLP, supplier needs to use SLP to maintain their own data. Existing supplier will be required to complete initial setup. So basically, like, need SLP. So rather than more on a supplier perspective, we can say like it is more benefitable from our perspective as a customer, as a buyer, you can say, because buyer need to have all the details of the supplier to, you can say, like, to authenticate anyone. So right, in the market, you will see that a lot of suppliers are there, right? How you authenticate a supplier? Just by name or just by from the website, you will not see, right? Because every day new suppliers are coming and a lot of suppliers are not very good, right? They have some blacklisted from some other companies and all. They have some issues with the other companies also. So what you use is you try to do your due diligence before adding that supplier in your Ariba network, or you can say Ariba database. Okay. So from that perspective, you need to have like a lot of, for example, if I give you an example, if you go in a normal way, if you want to buy, for example, if you want to buy a laptop or a mobile, just take an example. What you will do? You will go into the market, you will check for some shops. So if you want to buy some genuine product, you will go for some authorized seller, right? Who's the authorized retailer or something. You cannot buy something just from the like corner of the road, right? Any shop is there who's providing you laptop and all. You're not sure whether they are correct or not. They are providing the genuine products or not, right? So you do your due diligence whenever you are buying anything. The same thing applies here in this one. When you are using this SLP, you need to have something like a proper documentation. So this SLP supports you this way that you can buy, you can ask the particular set of questionnaire. You can ask the particular set of documents which you are looking for. Okay. So this is basically specific to the requirement of the buyer, customer, basically, you can say what you want to check so generally what happens is, if I give you an example, like people create a go, no-go criteria. So they keep some standard set of questionnaires, which has been like prepared by the vendor team or where supplier management team. They like after analysis and all, they put like these are the particular questionnaires. When the supplier answers to these and they provide these information, then only we are going to accept that supplier in our database. Okay. So these are some process that you need to define. The same process you need to map as a questionnaires into the SLP. Okay. So that is where becomes the supplier request and registration. Okay. These are the two major part of it. So there, this is where you will be coming into the picture. You are putting all these things into the system. Okay. So this is how we use for the SLP. So if you see, I will be showing you both the aspects, right? Like if you're not using SLP also. So just be there. Like if you're not using SLP, still you can use the suppliers. It's not like if you're not using SLP, how the suppliers will be coming into the system, right? For example, some company just using the sourcing module. They do not need SLP. They are not dealing into very common, they are into simple FMCG products, right? Like daily use of shampoo and Maggies and all those things, right? They do not need any supplier who's like having they are dealing with the retailers. So they do not need anything on a specific side for that side. Okay. Any complicated documentation or something, they don't need it. So in that scenario, what will happen is they will not use SLP. Okay. Most probably, like that is an assumption, right? So in that scenario, what will happen is you still have to onboard the supplier. You need to still have the suppliers in your system. So how you do that? So there's another way of doing that. I will be showing you that also. So, but understand the perspective from all, like if you are using SLP, then how you will be loading the suppliers and what exactly you are trying to achieve with the SLP. Okay. So SAP will provide the benefits for the Western Power, both Western Power and its suppliers, improve efficiency in data maintenance, visibility of expiring information, electronic email notification, supplier data quality, reduce Western Power supplier carbon footprint, less paper being used, ability to utilize the Ariba system electronic. So all these informations. So majorly all the electronic, first of all these things are like electronic. You just need to have nothing to print, simply like nothing to print. If anything required from the supplier side, supplier can simply attach it as a file and send it to you. You need to just download it, or if you, even though if you do not want to download, just be there in that system. Okay, the data will always be there in the system. Okay, so this is how the SLP deliver, and all these things will be helpful. Key capabilities: integration with SAP Ariba Procurement, consistency through the source to pay process, maintaining like portals of the Ariba network. Supplier also is there, so is another portal of the supplier which suppliers can access and supplier can log in. Okay, qualification, segmentation, workflows, we can set it up on this one. So these things also be there. If any response is coming from the supplier, we can set up the approval flow on that. Okay, so these are some basic of overview, you can say this, from the overview of SLP. Okay, let me take this one, SLP supplier request. Okay, so this part is clear. I think basic of SLP is clear. Anyone have any doubts in this one? Any questions on this one?
You have said in that slide that SLP is used by the suppliers, but it is actually the company who is using the SLP, isn't it? Because yes. The job of the supplier is to just fill that information form, provide the certificates, etc. But then eventually it's the company who's going to validate those. So the SLP is being used by the company or the vendor or the both or both of them.
No. So okay. So SLP is being used by company only, right? But it's kind of linked whenever you are sending any request, right? So it, for example, when you are onboarding a supplier, okay, it will be sending a link to register them on the Ariba network. That is also like, you can say, like a supplier network. So SLP is part of our side only. Okay, but it's kind of linked with the suppliers, you can say the supplier portal also. So the supplier portal, if I say here, right, for any supplier in the market, in the world, okay, they are using this standard URL. For supplier to log in on Ariba portal, Ariba network, Ariba supplier portal, this is basic URL. supplier.ariba.com. supplier.ariba.com. If you search on the Google, like HTTPS comes in front of it. Otherwise, this is the standard URL. Okay. So if you click in here, see this supplier login. This is the page. Okay. So kind of what happens is when I'm going to, like, I will be performing. So how we will be performing is like, I will be adding all of you guys as a supplier, because I will be and then please save your, like, you will be setting up of your this test account. This is a test account. Okay. And I will be requesting everyone to use your email ID, like, which do not have already an earlier account. Otherwise it will be like little mix and all those things, right? It will create like that kind of a little issue in that one. So please do not like use that one. Okay. So that perspective. So what will happen is then you will be like as I said, like this will be more of a workshop. So you will be filling up the information. I will be receiving that information. So I will be showing you how the complete cycle works, like how I'm going to start the supplier request from my side and how you guys going to register on the Ariba network as a supplier. And then you are going to respond to a particular questionnaires that I'm sending. So that will be required at that level, as well as that will be required in future also, that once you will be doing this, RFIs, RFPs, auctions, contract negotiation. So in that perspective, this also be required and will be used. Okay. So this is more of a workshop training. So that I will be requesting you to have this one. So this is what I'm referring it. So this is you can see this register now. So as a supplier, anywhere in the world, if you are using this one, you will be using this standard URL for all the suppliers. Then they will be logging in here and they will be registering here. Okay. So there are two things. One is, you can see this is buyer portal. Okay. So please do not get confused here between the buyer and supplier. Now we are talking about two portals. Okay. This is buyer. This is our. Okay. As a company, we are bought this one. And this is supplier portal. But remember, like, for example, if I take an example like Dell. Okay, Dell laptop, Lenovo and all these people are providing the laptops, okay, in the market. These are companies. And they have the supplier. Who's the supplier for them? Intel. Intel itself is a big organization, right? But they can be supplier to the Dell, even though Intel is quite big from that perspective. So Dell is a company and Intel can be the supplier for chips for the laptops. Same way, it's using this here. Any company who's using this one, it's like they can be having buyer also, they can be having supplier. But for the supplier portal, they need to have a separate portal. Okay. So any communications will be happening, will be there with this supplier portal. So if you guys will be getting this one, so you will be always using this supplier.ariba. So like from the Google, you can just search it, supplier.ariba.com. It will open you this first page and it will come in here like this. So this is standard. Like, so Ariba has made it a little simpler to the supplier perspective, that simple URL is there to use. So this is supplier and this is our buyer side. Okay, fair enough?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, let me see this in here. What is there? Okay, so, okay. Now let me give you like when we do this. So in the SLP side, if I go for SLP side, right? So let me put it here. Okay. So, okay, maybe a little bit bigger. So when we talk about the SLP, right? So SLP, the supply request, the first thing we will be doing is the supply request. Now, so why? Okay, so first of all, why we're using SLP? Because whenever you are working on anything, right, you need two people, right? When you want to buy something, you want to sell something. What we are doing here is buying and selling. So if what you need a buyer and a supplier. That's why we picked up the first. So buyer we have, now we are looking for the supplier. So that's why we are using first. We are initiating, like we are starting with the SLP first. Let our system have some buyers, even though like it's already there, but like take an example, like let's have some suppliers first. We'll be using those suppliers to do the business. So when we talk about the SLP, the first thing comes is the supplier request. Okay, the supplier request. Supplier request is an internal process. Okay, it's an internal process generally, right? Internal process in the sense, right? For example, take an example. Okay, like if anyone is there who can give me an example, like if anyone has been dealt with any kind of procurement activity, anyone. So generally, how the way you communicate with the supplier, you like onboard you find out some supplier in the market. So for example, you went some exhibition and all, there you find out some supplier. And so how you generally work with them, like if you want to initiate something with him. So any example, like it's nothing I'm asking to very pinpoint, a brief overview on that one. Anyone can give me any example? Basic idea, like nothing specific on this one. So any basic process we follow.
Call the supplier initially and take the information, mention your requirement to him.
Right.
And gather details like maybe from various resources, internet, etc. about his credibility.
Right. Correct. Right. So absolutely, like that is fine. That is correct. So in this process, what you can say, like the internal process. So you find out first, you have met this supplier. He has given you your visiting card. You had quite a few minutes of discussion with him. Like he mentioned you that he deals into these things and all. So he gave you like some basic template and all those things of him, right? Now, you think like after a particular period of time, after 1 month or all, you find out like this, we getting some similar requirement that I met a supplier in that exhibition. Now, in this scenario, what will happen is you have the basic information of that supplier, right?
Yes.
So basic information, like you can say the name of that person and email address of that person, or some basic information, like you can say like address or something, like he's from Maharashtra or Gujarat or anywhere of the India, right? That kind of thing, right? So you have the basic information. So what you will do is, so in the supplier request, this is the basic part we cover. You will be initiating the supplier request. We'll say supplier request.
Certification details.
Yeah. So first, what we do is we basically raise an supplier request, and in this one we will be mentioning only the basic details of it, and this request we will be sending. You can configure it. Again, I'm saying it, you can configure this, and you will be sending this information to your internal, either your vendor master team or whoever team who's taking the decisions, vendor team or supplier management team who's taking the decision whether these kind of suppliers will be supplier management team, whether this can be added in our database, or this kind of supplier, whether we can add it on an initial level. Remember, this is very initial level. So that is what we do in the supplier request, the very basic one. Okay. After this one, once this internal process happens, then we come to the registration process. And in registration process, we will be asking every information from the supplier. Okay. Then even when we perform this supplier request, you can configure in a manner that supplier even not aware that we have initiated something to add him in our Ariba database. Okay, so this is what happens in the supply request. So let me, if I show you here quickly here. So on this platform, when you see in here on this platform here, so you can see this right hand side. So as I said, whenever you need to create anything, you will be going here in this one, create, and here you can see this supplier sourcing request, sourcing project. You are not able to see anything. Click on more. So sometimes everything doesn't come in here in the one place. You need to click on more, and you will see that all the options will come in front of you. Now here we need to find out where is supplier request. Here as you can see supplier request. Click on it. Okay, let it come. Okay, this is your supplier request form. Okay, now here just quickly go through it. You can guys see in this one. This is your supplier request form. Okay. So currently what we are doing is, I'm showing you from an end user perspective. Okay. Remember this. This is what I'm doing is, this is from the end user perspective. If someone asks you in the company, like, I got this detail, please take this visiting card or some basic information about this person, and please add this supplier in our, start this supplier onboarding process in SL. Very straightforward requirement. I hope everyone is clear with the requirement. You met some supplier in the market, you got some basic information about it, and you came in the office and you gave this information to your maybe some junior resource who's generally take care of the creating of this end user activity. So you will give him please start the onboarding process of this supplier. Now, what is that process? This is that process that the first is he will be creating a supplier request here. So this form, he will be filling it with the supplier name, supplier legal name, and all these information. Now, see here, the part from the implementation also comes into picture here. Now, this form which you are seeing here, okay, this form, who creates it? Who manages this form? Where it is coming? All this information. Any idea, anyone? Give it a guess. No issues. No need to worry about it. Right? Wrong answer, right answer.
Initially, we are getting this information from the supplier, and from the company side. I'm the employee of one of the company, and I'll be editing those supplier information in my system.
Okay. So this is basically, this thing is internal, our internal company. Okay. So we still not connected with the suppliers. Okay. So this is our own system here. And all this information that we are seeing in here, right? It's coming from the templates. Okay. And as I mentioned initially, right, in the starting, that who maintains the template? Anyone? Admin, or you can say the implementation team, or generally the team who hand over the key members, right? Generally, so to whom you have given the access for configuration and all, those team maintain the templates. So all this information that you are seeing in here, right? This is coming from the template. And as an implementation partner, you will be managing this one. And as an implementation partner, you can change each and every question. So basically, these are nothing but question. I'm referring this as a question because when we'll discuss the template part, you will see these are like considered as a question in the template label. That's why I'm referring them as a question. Okay. So these questions, whatever you are seeing on this page, can be configured. Configured in the sense you do not want these questions, you can delete all of them. You can delete complete all of them. You want some different question, you can get a different question also. You want to change this question, so you want say like supplier name is no, I want here vendor name. You can do that also. But like not you actually, the implementation guy or whoever handling you can say that friendly, like in a more simpler manner, whoever handling the template in your company, who have given the access, who has the access of editing the templates.
So Jay, SAP is providing the standard template while creating the configuration, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. So, I mean, from ECC point of view, I am from P2P. So when we create a new vendor or this particular one, so we have the standard one. And as you said, right, we are not able to change that particular supplier name. That is a standard default which we have in ECC. But if we can hide this particular the supplier name hidden or editable mode in the background when we do the configuration part. So in the same way we can do the configuration over here, or entirely we can remove this particular layout and we need to create a new one. The supplying information, the supplier name, the name also can be editable in the Ariba.
Name also you can edit it. Yes, that is. So you can completely change this one, everything. So if you do not want itself, as I said, right, you do not want this complete, all these 3-4 options at all. You can remove all this.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So these things are there in this one that you can configure these things in here. So this is what the difference is, right? So understanding the difference, right? I understand your concern, like they're having a little different, but here, like the customization. So basically the form questionnaires customization, approval flow customization, all will be a part of the implementation. Implementation team or the team who's managing the configuration in the company, right? They can do these changes. They can manage it. So you can control this completely. You can even set the answer type. For example, if I show you here something, see this agreed payment terms. So you can make this as a question also, or you can make an answer as yes and no. So this is the benefit, right? See, generally, if you take an example of whenever you are discussing with a supplier, right? You say to the supplier, right? What is your payment term? What happens is, generally, I'm telling you in a very layman language, what happens, the supplier says, sir, I generally give 90% to everyone, 90 advance, I generally take advance to everyone, every customer. But as you are a premium customer, you can give me on, like I can give you 30 days of time. You need to pay me in 30 days after delivery. Okay, like this is the way they talk, right? But you can say, no, we have a firm policy. We will be paying you in 60 days or 90 days. You need to choose. Okay, so you will not be negotiating. So again, he will be no, sir, I want to pay. I cannot pay this one. You can please negotiate on 45 and all. So you do not want that. That again, to and fro discussion and all those negotiation. So these kind of things you can see agreed. Here you can write agreed 30 days payment terms. Yes or no, simple. Supplier will be choosing any one thing in here. You are not giving him an option because you have many what you can say, like you have like a lot of database, and supplier generally agrees to the customer requirement unless and until the supplier itself is a very big one something. Otherwise, you can ask these kind of questions. So you are trying to remove what is an ambiguity in the process. You need to discuss. You need to put it there with, right? So that kind of information you can remove if you want. Otherwise, you can still keep it open. If you want, what is your payment term? You keep it a text box like this one. These are all text box. So the supplier can write anything in here. But this is, I'm talking about from the internal perspective. So let's first discuss the internal perspective of the registration part. I will be explaining this more, where you will be communicating with the supplier and you can set up this one. First, we are discussing the supplier request process. where I will be putting up all these information in here, and you will be setting up these things as per your own requirement. So this is end user perspective, but the part of the implementation I will be covering up also. That will be when we discuss the implementation part. Then I will be showing you the templates and all, how you set up, how the approval flow works. So after this submission, approval flow will be coming in here. So how that thing comes and all. So those things I will be showing you also.
So this supplier request form, there will be just one, and it will be like standard valid across all vendors.
Yes. So what happens is basically at the template table, I'll be explaining you this one, because Ariba has kind of like Ariba supplier request and registration process is kind of standard. Process is a standard. You cannot keep changing the process for one supplier to different process, another supplier to, but you can ask some questions. You can put some conditions on the question, and you can have these questions specifically to the particular, what you can say, like particular supplier. So for example, you have one question for Indian customer and one is for foreign. Okay, so that kind of conditions and setup can be done in this form, request form. But the process perspective will always be remain same. So I will be showing. So this thing will be getting more clear once we discuss the template part. So please wait for some time. Once we discuss the template part, that thing will be more clear from the process perspective. Okay.